Today is Sunday, so we're going to be doing a Sunday roast, or our version of a Sunday roast. So we'll go through the ingredients first of all. We've got, for our Yorkshire puddings, eggs, milk and flour. Then we've got potatoes for our roast potatoes. We've got some chicken legs. We've got some parsnips that we're going to roast with some honey. We've got some carrots that we're going to roast as well, and then we've got some seasoning bits and bobs. So we've got some dried thyme, some dried rosemary, mixed herbs, salt and pepper, and some sunflower oil. Yorkshire puddings for 2 people. We're going to put 70 grams of plain flour, 2 eggs, and then we're just going to whisk that. Just want to whisk it until it's in a nice smooth paste. And then to that I'm going to add 90 mils of milk. And again, just whisk. And at this point, you want to get as much air in there as possible, so you need to give it a really good whisk. So the more air you get in there, the better your Yorkshire puddings will rise. Perfect. So you can see we've got the bubbles on the surface there. That means that we've got enough air in there. Just pass that through a sieve into something that you can then pour the mixture out into your moulds. And then you just want to cover that. Batter mix is ready, that's going to go in the fridge at least an hour, I'd say, before you want to put it into your tin, just to make sure it's nice and cold. Roast potatoes. First job is to peel them. Peel the potatoes. Chop them into quarters if they're this size. Into a pan of cold water. Salt. And then that's going to go onto the stove, bring it up to the boil, about 10 minutes simmering, just till they start to soften, and then I'll show you what to do after that. Potatoes have been simmering for about 10 minutes now, so we're going to take these off. Drain all the water off of them. And then we're going to do a very important process in making the best roast potatoes, and that's called ruffling. So you can see that they're starting to go softer on the outsides, and then you're just going to give them a bit of a bang, really. And you see how they've all ruffled up on the sides? That's going to help you get those really nice crispy bits on your potatoes. So we've got some hot oil in the oven already. Clearly you need to be very careful at this point because that fat is really hot. And you're going to just tip your potatoes into there. And that's the sound that you want, that sizzle. Salt and pepper. And you can use a brush for this. Just make sure all your potatoes have got some oil on them. Keep taking them out of the oven and basting them like this every 15 minutes or so while they're cooking to get that really nice crispness. So once they're all covered, back in the oven. The potatoes take the longest. Potatoes will probably take a good 45 minutes, if not an hour, until you put them where they need to be. Our chicken, I've just peeled the skin back on the chicken legs. Just going to put some rosemary, some mixed herbs, and some thyme on there. Little touch of salt and pepper. And then brush with some oil. Then pull the skin back over. Then the outside, exactly the same. And salt, and that salt's going to really help crisp up the skin. And that's the chicken ready to go in the oven. So 180 degrees, 45 minutes to an hour, good to go. Wash your hands. Parsnips. Peel them first. Once you peel them, just top and tail them, and then you're going to cut them again, probably into 4 for these. So for our parsnips, just warm some oil up in the oven so it's nice and hot. Just want to pop your parsnips in, coated in oil, and then we're going to add some salt and pepper, and the honey we'll add when they're nearly finished cooking. And then just roast them in the oven. So again, about 180 degrees, probably take about half an hour. Carrots again, just going to peel them and then top and tail them. Top and tail, and then it depends how chunky you want them really. I'll probably just cut them in half, because then what we're going to do is boil them in some salted boiling water, and then we'll roast them in the oven just to give them a nice bit of colour on there as well. So our parsnips are probably about a third of the way through cooking. Not got much colour on them yet, but they are starting to soften up nicely. We're just going to add to the same tray our carrots that I've just boiled, salted water, boiled them for about 10 minutes, just to soften them up. So I'm just making sure we've got oil on covering the carrot. A bit of salt and pepper for them as well. And they can go back in. Parsnips are nearly ready, so we're just going to pop some honey on there. Would you like honey on your carrots as well? Some honey on our carrots as well. And we'll just pop them back in for literally 2 or 3 minutes, just to let that honey kind of melt into the parsnips and the carrots. Okay, Yorkshire puddings. So our mix is now nice and cold, so it's been in the fridge for over an hour. Just going to add a touch of salt and pepper. You could also add some herbs if you wanted at this point. Sage is quite good in Yorkshire puddings. Give your mix a good whisk again. Really important that your oil is hot, really hot in your Yorkshire pudding tray, so it's already in the oven. And then if you can, you want to pour it just straight into the tray in the oven. Close the oven door and don't open it until they're ready. So the oven's on 220 degrees now. Probably turn that down in a minute. We just want to see those Yorkshire puddings starting to puff up. Yorkshire puddings are ready. Look at them bad boys. Beautiful. So all our Sunday food is nearly ready. We've got our roasted carrots, nice bit of colour on there, roasted parsnips with a little bit of honey on, roast potatoes, a chicken with a lovely crispy skin and our Yorkshire puddings. We're just going to add some peas as well for a little bit of colour, and then we'll plate it up with our gravy and enjoy. So we're going to plate up our Sunday lunch. Chicken, Yorkshire pudding, a couple of pieces of carrot, some parsnips, some potatoes, we've got some peas, just for a bit of colour, some gravy, so you can't have a Sunday lunch without gravy. And then our final secret ingredient, which not many people know about. This is some sliced onion in malt vinegar. Just goes really well with your Yorkshire pudding and your gravy, so we'll have a little bit of that in there. People think it's strange. I'm telling you, don't knock it till you've tried it. But that's it. That's our roast chicken Sunday dinner.